Hey everybody, and welcome to Yoga Shorts. My name's Lola. I'm with the Sharon Forks Public Library, part of the Forsyth County Library System in Georgia, inviting you to take a step away from your busy day, to take a break for yourself, to move your body a little bit and maybe take a nice deep breath, hopefully move back into your day or end your day feeling a little bit more relaxed or refreshed. So always take care of yourself. If it hurts, don't do it. Follow any advice given to you by a doctor regarding exercise, and honor your body. See what feels best for you. So today we're going to be doing some seated postures on the ground. You can use a yoga mat if you have one. You don't need one. You can use a blanket, a towel, anything that feels good for you seated on the ground. So our focus is going to be a little bit on grounding. It's that feeling that you need to touch down a little bit because everything's been a little crazy around you, or maybe your mind is running, doing field trips or laps, and you just want to settle down for a minute. So first we're going to start by seating ourselves on the floor, literally on the ground, grounding ourselves. So find yourself a comfortable position. If you want to go find something to sit on, I've got this blanket folded up and I'm going to sit it up under my hips a little bit. Makes my seated position feel even more relaxing. So take a minute to do that and find whatever it is that makes your seated position most comfortable. And to get settled, we're going to start with a breath. So we're going to take our right hand, put it on our belly, left hand, put it on the chest. If you're comfortable closing your eyes, go ahead and do that. Otherwise, lower your gaze to the ground. And first, just feel where your hands are. Feel your breath moving in and out of your body, just your natural breath. Feel how that is. Feel how it feels between your hands when you're just noticing your natural breath. Maybe you notice your belly moving underneath your hand. Maybe you feel the rise and fall of your chest underneath your other hand. So let's go ahead and take a deeper breath. See if you can actually move that lower hand, not forcing anything, just seeing if you can take a deep enough breath to really move that bottom hand. And then as you exhale, let that belly relax. Inhale again. Exhale, letting the belly relax in. Let's continue that for another moment. And let your breath return to its natural rhythm. Let your hands come to rest on your knees. Just pause a moment in the natural position, neutral position of your body and natural breath. And allow your eyes to gently come back open. So I do have my buddy Jessie with me today, so you may hear her moving around or snoring every once in a while. So first, let's just notice where we're seated. So feel the ground beside you. Actually, let your hands rest on the ground for just a moment. If you find your arms are a little bit short, you can let your hands rest on your blanket. Just let your fingertips touch down and your hands touch down on the ground. So feeling the ground around you, so you really are firmly attached to the ground, firmly seated. Just notice this for a moment. Even if you're a couple floors up, doesn't matter. You're touching down on the ground, solid surface. And then go ahead and either with the blanket under your hips, or if you've made that adjustment, or you could move it out of the way. We're going to move into Cobbler's pose, which is putting the soles of the feet together. So you may want to start with your feet fairly far away from the body, or depending on how your body feels today, you may be able to bring them in closer, but bring them into a comfortable spot where you can feel a little bit of opening on your legs, but you're not straining. And you can either wrap your hands around your toes, you can let your hands rest on your ankles, whatever feels good to you. So first we're just going to pause here for a minute. Notice our sitting bones on the ground are still sitting up tall, letting our chest be a little bit open as opposed to curling over, trying to keep that a little bit open. So make any adjustments to find that position, that comfortable position for you today. And we'll just take several breaths here in this position. Feeling the outside of our feet, maybe the outside of the ankles and our sitting bones touching down on the earth. You can close your eyes on any of these postures if that feels good. Close your eyes and just feel yourself settling in. If you want, you can try to see if you've got any more room to move the feet in a little bit. If not, that's fine too. Just see what feels good. And then let your hands move your knees up towards one another and stretch your legs out one at a time. Now, you may want to get the blanket back or may not. I'm going to use the blanket under my hips for this position. It's called staff pose. So your legs are straight out from your body. And your hands can be resting behind you, either with the fingertips pointing away or the fingertips pointing towards you. I find fingertips pointing towards me feels good if I'm going to use my arms. So see if you can let your toes reach towards the sky. So your feet are a little bit flexed and your legs are straight. If you find that you need to bend your legs a little bit, that's fine. Or you might want to widen the feet away from each other for a moment. We're just going to pause here in staff pose, trying to keep the body upright and see if you can open that chest again. And let your hands rest behind you. Find that comfortable position for you. And again, if you'd like to close your eyes, you can go ahead and do that in this pose. And we'll just stay here for a couple of breaths. So you can maybe feel the heels, the backs of the legs touching down. Again, the sitting bones and maybe the palms of your hands all touching down on the ground. And then on an inhale, let that go a little bit. What we're going to do is we're going to bend the left knee, and you can keep that support under you if you're using one, and let the inside of the foot rest towards the right leg. It doesn't have to be touching, and it can be as far down the leg or as far up the leg as feels comfortable to you. Take a moment to see what feels best to you when you bend that leg. So at this point, what we want to do is inhale, let the body sit up nice and tall. The rib cage comes up away from the hips a little bit, sitting up tall, and turn your body so that the center of your body is more adjusted to that straight leg. Sitting up tall, and imagine hinging at your hips. And depending on the tightness behind your legs, you may have a different amount of hinge than anybody around you. I find for me, it's a very little bit of a hinge. Your hands can rest on your thighs, your hand may rest on your shin, or you may be able to rest your hands near your ankle. But mainly try to keep the hinge in the hips as opposed to the curling of the body. So we're sitting up nice and tall, lifting up, and then hinging at the hips and seeing where that finds you. And again, take a moment here, just pause in this position, close your eyes if you'd like, or gaze down. Allow your breath to flow. Check and see if you're holding any tension anywhere else in your body. Check your jaw, your face, make sure they're relaxed. And then on an inhale, if you are leaning over, straighten up and send that left leg long. Pause for a breath here in the center. And then bend that right leg and let the right foot, sole of the foot, be close to the left leg, the left thigh. It doesn't have to be touching, just nearby. Inhale, lift the upper body up a little bit. Turn the body so it's more aimed. The front line of the body is aligned with that straight leg. Inhale tall, exhale, and slight hinge over that straight leg. Again, depending on how your body feels, you may find yourself touching your thigh, your shin, your toe. No need to stress or strain, just find where your landing spot is today and pause here for a couple breaths. Check in, make sure you're still sitting tall and hinging at the hips. And then on an inhale, come back up. Send the right leg long. Pause here for a breath in the center with both legs nice and straight. Maybe your toes reaching towards the sky. Your hands can rest behind you or in your lap, whichever feels best. And then let all that go. Come back into your comfortable seated position and shake all that out. Maybe wiggle your legs a little bit. So today's focus has been about grounding, touching the ground, feeling the body against the ground, the legs, the outside of the foot, different parts of your hands touching down. Sometimes when the world gets crazy, it's nice just to touch down a little bit with the ground, with the earth. So continue to take care of yourself. I look forward to seeing you next time.